Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Genesis chapter 25. We're going to get into some more of those names I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing, so let's jump back into the text. Genesis 25, Abraham's death. Now Abraham took another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore to him Zimron, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. Joksan became the father of Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, and Letusim, and Leumim. The sons of Midian were Epath, and Epher, and Hancock, and Abida, and Elda. All these were the sons of Keturah. Now Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac, but to the sons of his concubine, Abraham gave gifts while he was still living, and sent them away from his son Isaac eastward to the land of the east. These are all the years of Abraham's life that he lived, 175 years. Abraham breathed his last and died in a ripe old age, an old man and satisfied with life, and he was gathered to his people. Then his son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in a cave in Machpelah in the field of Ephraim, to the son of Zohar the Hittite, facing Mamre, the field in which Abraham purchased from the sons of Heth. There Abraham was buried with Sarah his wife. It came about after death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac lived by Beer-lahai-roi. Descendants of Ishmael. Now these are the records of the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, who Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's maid, bore to Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names in order of their birth: Nebaioth, the first of Ishmael, and Kedar, and Abdil, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Hada, and Tima, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their villages and by their camps, 12 princes according to their tribes. These are the years of their life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people. They settled from Havilah to Shur, which is east of Egypt, as one goes towards Assyria. He settled in defiance of all his relatives. Isaac's sons. Now these are the records of the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Aramean, to be his wife. Isaac prayed to the Lord on the behalf of his wife because she was barren, and the Lord answered him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. But the children struggled together within her, and she said, "If it is so, why then am I in this way?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples will be separated from your body. And one people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger." When her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Now the first came forth red all over like a hairy garment, and they named him Esau. Afterwards his brother came forth with his hand holding on to Esau's heel, so his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 60 years old when she gave birth to them. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a peaceful man living in tents. Now Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. When Jacob had cooked stew, Esau came in from the field, and he was famished. And Esau said to Jacob, "Please let me have a swallow of that red stuff there, for I am famished." Therefore his name was called Edom. But Jacob said, "First sell me your birthright." Esau said, "Behold, I am about to die, so of what use then is the birthright to me?" And Jacob said, "First swear to me." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose and went on his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. And that's the end of chapter 25. Okay, let's go inside the text. Let's see. Okay, so we pick up in verse 8 where it's this is the death of Abraham. So he spoke to gather his people. That's a euphemism for death, but also an expression of personal continuance beyond death, which denoted a reunion with previously departed friends. His sons buried him. Abraham's funeral brought together two sons who would perhaps otherwise have remained somewhat estranged from each other. He was buried in a place which he had purchased at Hebron, back with his wife Rachel. The family, that's where it became the family burial plot. Then it makes a shift. We're talking about the generation of Ishmael. With the death of Abraham and the focus shifting to Isaac, the record confirms God's promise of 12 princes of Ishmael. We'll find that throughout through here. The Bible moves around a little bit, but everything is to cover, where you see a deviation like that, is cover something that's prophetic. Let's see, we went down through it, and it said Arab tradition has it that these are their earliest ancestors. So by their villages and by their camps, in addition to serving as testimony to God's promise, information such as the genealogy helped Israel to understand the origins of their neighbors in the central and northern Arabia. Then we see the genealogy of Isaac, and we go through, and let's see, another point I'll get to. It was very descriptive in how they were cited. The older shall serve the other one. He's talking about when God was speaking to Rebekah, was telling her, he says this, that your older will serve the younger, speaking of what the twins in her belly. This was contrary to the custom of patriarchal times, when the elder son enjoyed all the privileges of precedence in the household, and that the father's death received a double share of inheritance and became the recognized head of the family. This is where God had told her, it says the older is going to serve the younger. So there was going to be a change of order that was there. Let's see, the days were fulfilled. Esau and Jacob were born 2005 BC. And let's see, it shows that this would be, it was talking about the difference between the colors of them, which is very distinct. They've taken about red and hairy. This would be the linguistic basics for calling Esau country Edom when he lost his name. He had given up his birthright. The difference between his two sons manifests itself in several areas. One, Esau of Edom and Jacob of Israel. In disposition, Esau was a rugged, headstrong hunter, preferred the outdoors, and Jacob a plain, amiable man, preferring the comforts of home. And it showed him in parental favoritism, Esau by his father and Jacob by his mother. These were the ingredients for conflict from the beginning. Edom, in a play upon words to forever recall that Esau was born red and hairy and had sold his birthright for red stew, he was also named Edom, which is i.e. red. And then it was speaking of, let's see, despite his birthright, the final evaluation of the verbal tussle and bartering which took place between the twins, all of which was indicative of prior discussions and arguments sufficient for Jacob. So essentially, these were two brothers, and they were brothers. They fought often, and how little Eshua valued it. He became therefore known as irreligious or a godless person. So you're seeing the different split, and that just kind of gives you the difference between the two brothers, kind of stark difference between, that we see throughout the Bible, the dark and the light, things like that. And that will conclude inside of chapter 25. Hope to see you back for chapter 26. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button or the like button, just so we can send this around some more. We get more people to be able to read the Bible. We want, the algorithm works and it dictates what goes where. So make sure you hit that like button so things like this will get spread throughout the internet even more. And thank you and have a blessed day.